Hi, you guys. I am really digging this transit in Aquarius. I mean, it has just been paying off in spades. Wait till you hear what happened tonight. And I've lit my sage and I've gone and waded through a bunch of dirty, grimy stuff, and I have not seen my sage light up like this continuously. It's kind of amazing. So, hi, you guys. Hi, welcome, friends. I had an awesome time last night with that incredible live. I'm still buzzing about it. So many great things in there. Newbies, welcome if you're here. I read tarot cards, and I just have to let you know really quickly, I do it differently than most people. I usually have a couple decks going, and I use it with a horoscope. This was a quarter moon over Washington, D.C. You don't have to know a thing about astrology. I use it as a tool so I can figure out how all these characters are talking to each other. And I throw an astrology card deck and a tarot deck, which are the major themes. And then we go from there. I also have to use a lot of jargon, names, and codes because there's some sort of AI and algorithm tied to my channel that gets triggered really easily. So tonight we need to talk about G-string. I can't say her name. It's like G-laine. Put it together and you have G-string. And she had a pal that's no longer with us. I can't even call him Mr. So I call him Mr. G-string. You know, and he unexpectedly passed the summer before last. So this is a story going back to G-string. And it all relates to what happened tonight with the crazy news. I said last night that at this quarter moon, the moon was going to start over here, lands far away, and that Don Julio would be on the phone with Stub, who is Vlad. Stub, to be discussing something very painful, and they would be consulting about it rapidly, and then when this moon went over the midheaven in Washington, D.C., that it would break out and people would freak out about the landslide of new, shocking news that would come out. It kind of happened. And so I've kind of stayed away from it, but what I've been seeing in my news feed is about there were some favors given out tonight for a lot of people. Essentially, Don Julio picked the Russia over America. And so that's what they were talking about. Starting yesterday, this quarter moon was at 6 something p.m. Eastern time yesterday on Sunday. So this is all they were talking about. And then it spilled over this afternoon and evening. Big, huge thing going on. So, but before I found out about that, this evening I was at Walgreens, with my kid. And we're just checking out and I see the tabloids. And I'm like, what is this? And on it, there's a cover. Well, I was going to I don't have my device. And on the cover, I was like, are you kidding me? There's a picture of 3 people. There's a person here. There's another person here. And G-string is right here in between them. And it almost looked like the picture was like superimposed. Like the lighting looked off. Like, like that, how they cut people out and Photoshop them. Well, this person here, Hill. This person here, Bill. And here she is like superimposed. It's like totally fake. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The National Enquirer has this out on the day of the excuse me, pardon me, pardons. This is at the checkout line. I have not seen this active use by the National Enquirer in a really long time. Actually, since 2016 when she lost the election, because remember how the tabloids just had the grossest stuff about her all the time. I mean, that was in our faces all the time. I have not seen that in forever. And then to see G-string on the cover with superimposed over Hill and Bill, I'm like, something is up. What the heck is going on? Because the timing is no accident. So that's what I had to come find out. So then I find out about the excuse me's, the list that was issued tonight, and realizing this is what they were talking about, and that broke through tonight. So trying to get a feel for what was going on and what the moon was doing when it came over the midheaven, I threw a taroscope. Those of you who are new, I just use a card for each house so that I can get a better feel for what's going on. So what's going on here is just the most important things with the 10th house. This is what's crowning Washington, D.C., the skies over Washington, D.C. This is the most important thing. When the news spilled over tonight, it's like everybody and their brother knew. Everybody and their brother around the world knew what was going on. So we know that Don Julio likes to make a big splash about things to cover it up from something else. So I knew about that news, and then this was the tell on what he's covering up. So let's go through this 10th house, and I'll explain to you what's going on. So this is for the moon. What does the 10th house mean? We have Mars, that's action, aggression. It could be defense of oneself. We have the planet Uranus here, sudden shocking news. Today, Uranus is exactly conjunct 6 degrees, I think 59 minutes, Taurus to Lilith. Lilith is the pain of the female who's been abandoned, rejected, abused. Think about all of G-strings, the cases against her, and Mr. G, all those women. That is Lilith in spades. So Uranus, sudden shocking news. Yesterday I was saying there was news about women, lands far away. Donald's natal Venus is on the ascendant. So this whole week is going to be about women, money, the female, secrets. That, related to that, spilled over. The earliest news we got today about a woman in his life who decided to retire was all the way over in Europe. She's Don Julio's personal banker. So that didn't really make the news today, but there was a lot of stuff going on with that douche bank, as Linda G says. The douches. Yeah, lots. There were at least 2 that decided to retire out of the blue. So that's how it started. So I was like, oh, he's covering up for that. No. It's covering up for something much, 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 much bigger. So this taroscope has to do with the activity of this entire house and what's going on. At the quarter moon, the astrology said, Gemini, I think. So that told us whatever is in the skies over DC, it's Don Julio has a very important opinion. He's going to do something shocking that we don't like, and it's going to be an annoying Twitter day. And here we have the Hermit investigating something, or maybe surveillance. But I was anticipating something big, and we got it. What's bigger is what these cards are about. So on the ascendant, over here, these two cards. This is the Eastern Horizon. It's what gives life to the chart. For example, at your birth time, the time you were born, there was a sign on the Eastern Horizon that's called your rising sign or your ascendant. When you took your first breath, that degree in that sign is the essence of you, like with first impressions, how the world sees you, or the impression you make upon the world, or what you think about the world. So this 10th house on the ascendant, what's giving life to what's happening in the skies over DC, we have the Hierophant reverse. This is my card for the government of Russia, because they don't have rules and laws. They don't regard them in any particular way. It's a mess. And then we have the Seven of Swords reversed. Usually this is theft. This is forfeiture. I'm going to release something and let it go. We have to forfeit something to maybe the rusher. That's what was fueling the spillover of news. So that's on the ascendant. We know it has to do with women, money, who knows? So here we have in the first house, what is this business about? What's the most important thing, which is what is spilling over from the rusher? Judgments. These are judgments made against people. These are them who were excused, pardoned. Pardon me. So this is in the first house. The ascendant also said, look to the 9th house of hope and faith. This is also the law. So there were judgments that the law made that he overturned, because there were people who were indicted, jailed, and now he's turning that over. The secret has to do with a quid pro quo. I'll do this for you, you do this for me, that for me, this for that, from the rusher. This is the secret, the payments, the promise, the justice, the equity, the balance. The hidden enemy here, we've got this Page of Cups again. Again is the Page of Cups. So, usually that's like good news. Maybe that's propaganda. They get the result they want. It's also been Ivanka. It's been his kids. But this is also a female with emotions or lust. The hidden enemy, G-string, and her lust for young pages. The hidden enemy. The hope, the wish. Now again, this is the air element. This is communications. Saturn is now in an air sign, trying to exert its authority. So this was about battling back. This is your area of friends. So the friends, the rusher, having to forfeit something, is coming to a settlement or a decision. You have a friend helping facilitate that settlement, that decision. So there are some judgments Don Julio can do, and he's hoping that his friends will help him out. What's crowning Washington, D.C.? This news spills over. All these burdens, all of these excuse me's, all of these favors that he just overturned. And it's like, we, the country, the nation, is just, people are so angry. So angry. How can you do this? Well, that's what he does. Okay? Lands far away, overturning, and the law, overturning decisions. Shared resources. Look at this. That's the family. The GOP, Republican Party, they are splintering about this. Don Julio has had some tweets in the past 24 hours trying to remind Republicans that he saved them like 8 seats in this last election, and then called out South Dakota and Thune and rhinos. Republicans in name only. Are you kidding me? This is the shared resources about the news spilling over Washington, D.C. Giving excuses via the rusher, but now the GOP has become a target because they're sharing in these activities somehow. 7th house partnerships, opposition. The 10th house, what was happening? We have the 10 of Pentacles reversed. This is the Trump dynasty. What is spilling over is breaking apart this dynasty. The news that will come out will break up this family. This is not good for them. In terms of public servants, now here's the sun, here's the Mercury, here's the messaging. The astrology said look for transformation of investigations, day-to-day things, our military, our public servants. So we have the Knight of Swords here going on now this is aggression and going on a war path. You're going to do this. I mean, his tweets were off the rails. Craziness. The burdens. 5th house of the sun. Here, the 5th house represents the sun. The sun in a chart represents the, I call him a photus. The Hermit reversed. Usually that's an investigation reversed. That is bad counsel. That's bad guidance. Despite guidance, he decided anyway, Gemini, I'm going to do this because I've already investigated this and now I have forfeited something over to the rusher. This is what killed me because the news that spilled over Washington, D.C., well, the gravitational pull underneath the feet of Washington, D.C., these are the things that you defend. The High Priestess is the rusher. And all the ops, from elections to the information to social media, that's all that beginning to end. What happened in D.C. was to defend Russia, not America, the Russia, and even deeper secrets. The 3rd house of communications, there's the Judgment card right there. Now, the Emperor, this is Don Julio at the behest is Putin. When it's reversed, this is the coup, C-O-U-P, on America. This is Stubbs still in charge, asserting his will and his dominance and taking over that. And it's fired up. The astrology said the fire element fired up. Fury, pissed off. There's Mars. The 2nd house of income gains values. Possessions. The Queen of Swords. This is the court. A ruling, something that's happening. And there's a destiny here. The Yod, the finger of God, pointing to destiny, which I'm assuming is money, because if the Yod is pointing here in the 2nd house of income and gains, we have Don Julio with Venus. His natal Venus is here, and something of value. He had to forfeit something over to the rusher. Crazy, 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 crazy. So as I went through this, trying to figure out what the heck is this, because don't forget, there is that tabloid with the cover picture with her imposed over Bill and Hill, because they're supposed to be the scapegoats for whatever he did. So Bill and Hill are absorbing the information, the stories, so that he doesn't have to be burdened by this. And I'm sure this came as directives from the rusher, because, oh my God, I mean, when was the last time you saw this? So trying to figure that out and how that figured in with the 10th house, I was throwing multiple taroscopes. So I'm like, why is it here? I'm doing taroscopes on G-string. I'm doing taroscopes on the excuse me list. On why the Bill and Hill, why do this? Then I was doing, what is a taroscope on Don Julio and G-string? And things started to really fine-tune themselves and come into focus. Then I did one about, well, stub, what do you think about G-string? That was very telling. And then I was like, well, G-string, what do you think about stub? And then I did build behind bars. What is going on? They're all working together because basically there's some other transactions that are happening that either go beyond the Russia investigation, or that's related to all those massive blocks of redactions in that report. This thing has been kept so undercover, tight-lipped, and it's coming through. I think this Page of Cups has to do with that as well. Remember, that's G-strings, the pages she likes. And so I'm at 21 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop it here because this Taroscope underneath here is what finally told the story. When I asked Mick Turtle, what the heck is going on with G-string and stub? So that's the next part of this, okay? If you like this video, please, please, please click like. Please check your subscriptions and notifications. Please comment, let me know what you think, and please share. I really need your help. Thanks so much. See you in a few.